the SwishPOP is live, talking G.I. Joe and Transformers. And so, you know, if you're a fan of the channel here, you kind of realize now that we do G.I. Joe and Transformers. So I don't think the YouTube algorithm really likes that, but you know what? That's what I like to collect. That's what's on the wall, G.I. Joe and Transformers. Little Star Wars and Hot Wheels in there now too. But anyways, it's all related, right? It's all related. So we did a video this week, and you know what? I don't know, YouTube, they didn't like that video. They didn't push it out very much, but you know what? We're going to talk about it here. The G.I. Joe team had a stream last week, and you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I really wasn't necessarily a fan of the presentation of what they did, and I just wanted to talk about it. We'll start off the stream this week talking about it. I don't know, like, basically, if you didn't catch it, they did a 25-minute live stream, or not a live stream, it was a recording probably, and they had Lenny, and he interviewed one of the members of the Skybound Entertainment Comics division for G.I. Joe, and they talked spoilers for like the comic book series for 20 minutes. And I don't think that's what a lot of us signed up for when we thought about GIJOE June. So it was kind of weird. And I have to be honest, I didn't watch all of it because as of right now, you know what? Like, comics are cool and everything. And I do enjoy the new Transformers and G.I. Joe comics from Skybound. But sometimes I don't get a chance to read them as right away when they come out. So, I mean, I'm up to, I think, issue 5 in the G.I. Joe series, and I think I'm at like issue 17 or 18 or 19 maybe for the Transformer one. And that's as much time as I've devoted to it currently. So when they did basically a 20-minute stream of talking about it, and they literally put in the title, in the thumbnail, that it was going to cover spoilers from, like, you know, issues 6 to 8, I was like, I don't think I really need to watch this. So it was kind of disappointing because I think a lot of us out there thought that they were going to go into this with, you know, more G.I. Joe classified news, you know, more stuff, and it didn't really happen. And like I mentioned in the video, the Transformer team, like, does this too, right? It's not all Transformer stuff. I think, is it October maybe is Transformer month, or September? September or October is Transformer month. And they kind of do a similar thing where basically they do, like, you know, 3 or 4 streams throughout the month. And you know what? You can't always just talk about toys. Sometimes you got to talk about some other stuff. And basically they do it, I think, better right now than the G.I. Joe team. Is that, like, they basically do, you know, oh, we got these new Transformer line of shirts, and they talk about that for 2 minutes. And then they're like, hey, there's this new Transformers board game, and they talk about that for 5 minutes. But the idea that the G.I. Joe team talked about spoilers for a comic book series for 20 minutes, I mean, I think they missed the mark, personally. That's just my opinion. And once again, don't get me wrong, the comics are very, very good. And they're cool. And I love how they're back out again. But it's just that I don't think that's what a lot of us expect to see as part of a live stream when we're talking about GIJOE June. If they had to advertise it as, like, you know, comic book month, and, like, you know, the Transformer guys did a comic book stuff and G.I. Joe team did a comic book stuff, I mean, then we would know what to expect going into it. But when you show up to the live stream and basically it is, you know, 20 minutes of comic book talk that you necessarily aren't up on, it's not cool. I didn't really enjoy that. So, I mean, that's my little rant, okay? So I did a video, that was this week's video, and over on the channel, and that's why I discussed about it. Now, the only good thing about the stream this week was they did show a few seconds of the Night Force 2-pack, which featured Quick Kick and Beachhead. And I mean, they're different, right? They're interesting, they're really cool. I'm always, like I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of the 2-packs, but you know what, the Night Force ones kind of work, you know, because you're getting kind of 2 repaints. I wish they'd give you a better deal. If they're going to do 2-pack, I wish they would give you a better deal on these things than they currently do, like for like the price of them. Anyways, but it's a business, so I mean, they're not going to do that. But the Quick Kick looks cool. He's got like, different paint apps, and I think that one's really different because I don't think there's not a Real American Hero Quick Kick Night Force figure. I think that's an original one. I could be wrong on that. I never had any Night Force figures when I was a kid because where I lived, we didn't have a Toys R Us. So we didn't have a Toys R Us. So basically, yeah. Just 1 second. Sorry, I've got something here. Click this away. So yeah, we didn't have a Toys R Us. So I mean, like, the thing is, I was never exposed to Night Force as a kid, toy collector, say. So I'm not really sure. What I'm basically trying to say, I'm rambling, is that I'm basically not up on my Quick Kick Night Force details. And Beachhead looks awesome. He's got the camo pants. I think they've done a really good job on both of them. I would probably like to add them to my Night Force collection, but I'll have to wait on that for now. Hopefully we get more details on them soon. Sorry, I'm just trying to click off my phone here so it can't make any sounds. So that was basically their stream, right? Their stream was it. It was basically that's what they did. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments for guns. Anyways, okay, sorry. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think, hopefully, my thought is that they will bounce back this coming week with a much better stream. Because, they had the first one, it was good. They showed off a majority of the product. Then they had the second one, which was canceled. So I always say they had it, but like it was scheduled, and then they canceled it. And then the third one was the comic book one, which wasn't great again. So the fourth one, in the first one, they kind of promised us that we would see more HasLab details. So, in theory, I don't know if we'll get a full review this week of the HasLab, full preview. Hopefully, we'll get something. They need to give us something. I can't wait to San Diego Comic-Con to get all these details. I want something now, and I'm hoping we get something. I can't necessarily remember how the Rattler worked out last year, so I'm not really sure about that. But I don't know if anyone can remind me. Did they do a full preview of the Rattler at Joe June, or did they wait to San Diego Comic-Con? I can't remember. It's a year ago. I've dumped that information. Anyways, okay. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think we'll see something because I hate to say it, I think they kind of owe us. They don't really owe us anything, really. But, oh yeah, Bruticus, San Diego, SSS, I'm sorry, Studio Series 86. Yeah, we'll get to that in 1 second. So that's G.I. Joe. Coming up, Transformers has another stream this week as well. And it's funny because I had meant to do a video on my thoughts, what we would see at Studio Series 86 or Studio Series, in their upcoming endeavors, because they didn't really do any Studio Series in their last stream. It was all Age of the Primes, and they had like 1 or 2 little Studio Series things, the Fall and 3-pack, I believe. So coming up, they're gonna do a Studio Series heavy centric stream, and I'm excited for this because we've talked before. I am not a large fan of the actual modern day movies, and I made that known. I don't really have any in my collection, but one series that I absolutely love is the Studio Series 86 line, and those figures are the pinnacle of basically what Hasbro puts out. Now, obviously, Takara puts out some better stuff sometimes, but Studio Series 86, Hasbro, that's what they do best. So I'm really looking forward to what they're moving on with there. And of course, So related to the comment there, Bruticus Studio Series 86. There's a chance we may see more of that. Obviously, we have Vortex has been revealed earlier, and basically, he's actually shown up. I've seen reports of him showing up at Canadian retail. I searched around for a bit, but I couldn't find him. I have him on pre-order with Amazon, so I'm fine with that. I'll get him when he comes out. So at least that's pretty much a guarantee. I mean, as much as you can guarantee with Amazon pre-order, right? Anyways, but Bruticus is gonna be another amazing combiner, and like they're gonna have the leader class Onslaught, and you're gonna have the bigger the legs, which is Brawl and Swindle, I believe. I think Swindle, I have to see that. I mean, I'm assuming, like, sorry, I got some props here. Like, these are your Studio Series 86 Decepticons, right? This is Bone Crusher. He was the deluxe, and this is Scrapper, and he was a Voyager. I mean, if you look very closely, they are very similar size. This guy has some more tooling, I guess. So I would assume, while we say Brawl and Swindle will be Voyager size, and Vortex, and oh shoot, what's his name? Oh my god, the Space Shuttle. I can't remember the Space Shuttle's name. They're going to be deluxes or whatever. I mean, you can see that they're very similar sizes, right? So, an Onslaught will be the leader class. So, I mean, I think Bruticus is going to be amazing. As of right now, so I obviously have a Generation 1 Bruticus in my display case behind me here somewhere. He is one of my faves. One of my all-time faves is Combiner Wars Bruticus, and I have him up at the top of the shelf, and he is amazing. Yes, thank you. Blastoff was his name, and I'm so sorry I couldn't remember his name. All those Transformer names in my head, I can't get them out sometimes. I'm getting old. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm losing some of it. Anyways, but I think Bruticus, I'm really looking forward to Bruticus. And I was totally surprised when Vortex kind of leaked out. I didn't think they would do so many combiners so close together. So I'm super, super excited for Bruticus. And as soon as all those pieces come out for pre-order, I will be making sure that I add those guys to my pre-orders. Just quickly, I don't usually advertise this. I do have an Amazon store set up as part of the channel, so for USA and Canada. So whenever all those pre-orders come out, all the new Transformers, all the new G.I. Joe figures, I always add them to a few listings in our store, and so they're available. If you ever want to use our store to buy your stuff from Amazon, there's links in every single video. I should be posting here sometimes, but I don't have them ready to go. Anyways, if you look at them, check them out. No big deal. Just something I mentioned. I haven't been doing a very good job of advertising those, so I figured while I have some people here, might as well throw it out there. Yeah, I know. I'm getting so old. I can't remember all the names all the time. I'm just here to enjoy the Transformers. Back to that stream. I believe it happens on the 24th, which is Tuesday. I'm looking forward to that because I think at this point, one can assume we will probably finally get an official reveal from Hasbro for the Studio Series 86 Megatron. Now, if I do remember correctly here, I believe the Studio Series 86 line, the 86 at the end, has been dropped now. I think I remember reading this. I could be wrong, but I think I remember reading this. And basically, it's just Studio Series now because, I mean, they've done a lot of the 86 figures. I don't know if there's very many that they can pick out from that series that they could potentially add it to the 86 line. I could be completely wrong with that, but I thought I remember reading that. Anyways, long story short, it'll be Studio Series 86 Megatron, which obviously is a point of a contention for a lot of people because obviously Megatron was not a tank in that movie. But due to the modern world that we live in, we're getting that tank version. And you know what? I know I've done a video previously on the channel about this, and a lot of people were up in arms. And I do actually understand the argument where, like, he was not a tank in the movie, so why are we calling him Studio Series 86 Megatron? Because it's not like reflecting what it should have been or whatever. I get that argument, but we all know the modern world that we live in, especially in North America. Doesn't necessarily apply overseas in Japan, but we just can't have that gun mode anymore, right? I mean, as much as we would love to have it, just have that, like, you know, one for one, basically redo of Generation 1 Megatron, it's just not possible or whatever. There's certain laws are in place. And I've covered it in the video, and I actually covered, there's a short on the channel, which I don't have a link to right this second. Maybe I'll put it in the comments. And I was at TFCon last year in Toronto, Mississauga. And Aaron Archer was there, who is a well-known ex Hasbro designer, and he basically covered this. He basically said there are laws in place in California and New York that pretty much prevent toy replica guns being made and sold to children these days. So, I mean, and people are like, well, what about Nerf guns? Well, Nerf guns, like, I mean, they don't make realistic replica guns. Nerf doesn't. Like, they make fantastical guns, Fortnite, like crazy stuff or whatever, right? Anyways, so the thing is, like, if you really break it down, we know that we can't get that mode, but I mean, for me, I'm never going to transform to that guy. Like, he's going to stay in robot mode. He's going to stand next to Optimus Prime in some kind of battle, you know, format, like, you know, pose or whatever. And he's never transforming. And from what I've seen, I think they've done a really, really good job of the bot mode, and I think he's gonna look amazing. Okay, comment. Lone Dragon. I was more mad about the giant bot. Sure, you can call the new version Slug if you want to, but stupid. Yeah, I know. The thing is, like, Slug, Slag, I know that's a silly change too. Like, these little minor changes that these companies make now, because, you know, it's not politically correct or whatever, it does get really annoying. Like, like Disney and their Boba Fett, their Slave One ship is now Boba Fett's starship. Like, that one's silly. Like, we all know, you know, anyway, so we won't get into those topics here, but you like, we know, like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just part of the legacy of the thing. Slug, Slag, silly thing. I really hate that too. But, you know, in my head, because I even mentioned them last week, the Generation 2 Select set that's coming out, and I had a hard time referring to him as Slug. I mean, like, it just doesn't roll off the tongue, especially if you grew up with the 80s cartoon. He'll always be Slag, and, you know, it's just so annoying that they do that. But Studio Series 86, or Studio Series, the stream that's coming this week, I do think, like, I mean, so they're gonna have they have to have Megatron there, right? Megatron has to be there. I would assume at this point, we're gonna see more in-depth look at that 2-pack of Devastator with Long Haul and Hook in it. I think they are gonna probably show that off, like, you know, in person, and go through that. And I have to say, like, sorry, I keep on bringing Scrapper back in here. So I was looking at Scrapper earlier, and I think by far Scrapper here is one of my most favorite modern day Transformers I have right now. He looks like he just jumped off the cartoon screen. Like, he's like, boom! Like, I think they've done such an amazing job with Scrapper, and I can't wait to get more of these guys and actually build a Devastator. And to be honest, I actually might, like, I'm not one of these people to buy multiple figures and, like, have them, you know, one in bot mode and one in, you know, alt mode, or, you know, combiner mode. But I'm tempted that once I build a Devastator, that I might have to look into getting a second Scrapper, because he is amazing. Stunning. Really good job. I looked at Toy Hacks, and they had new stickers up for him just to give him like there's a Decepticon logo that goes in his thing here, and a few other little additions. A lot of times when I look at the toy hacks, like I actually, it's so funny. If I just move this here for 1 second, my super clean desk, I actually have, I won't show my address, but I actually have like several different toy hacks already here that I have to apply. They have this thing. So interesting fact about toy hacks, if you ever order from them. One, they are based in Canada. However, because a majority of their customers are probably American, their website, they run their site in American dollars, right? And so for us Canadians, we're like kind of like, oh, you know, this is a Canadian company, but charging American becomes annoying because there's an exchange rate that we have to pay. But if you are Canadian and you're out there and you want to order from Toy Hacks, they actually have a Canadian-only promo where you can get 30% off your order. And that promo is Canada 001. You have an address tied to your account that's in Canada, and you put that promo code in, Canada 001, and you get 30% off your order. So sometimes that can help, right? It's just the little things. And also, during, I believe, one of the mail strikes here in Canada, or the COVID, they had changed their pricing, shipping. They had expanded it, made it a bit more expensive, but now it's back to normal shipping. So I was able to get this, and it only cost me $1 because they just put a stamp on it and sent it to me in the mail. I think a few months ago, it was like, just to get that, it was like $10 shipping, because they were doing it a little different because the mail was on strike. So it's back to normal. Remember, 30% off if you're in Canada using Toy Hacks. Great company. Highly recommend them. Not a sponsor, just a good company if you're dealing with retro things that you want to get replacements. So right now, I think if I went through this, one is for Studio Series 86 Cup. One is for my Cobra Liquidator that I am restoring. If anyone out there in YouTube land has Cobra Liquidator parts, like the landing gear, which is also the same as the Storm Eagle, okay? So if you have a Storm Eagle you're not using, I need Cobra Liquidator landing gear, and of course I need the Liquidator canopy, which is like near impossible to find. And then I think I have Bombshell Legacy and Bumblebee Studio Series 86. And then I have, and I can't remember what this is, something else. Anyways, a few projects. I don't know if I'll ever get to do them. Hopefully someday down the line I will get to do those and test out my fine motor skills putting those on, which is going to be like a nightmare fuel for me for sure. Anyways, so Toy Hacks, we're talking about the stream. I had actually a link. If you just give me 1 second, I sent it to myself earlier, and because TF Formers had a list of potential Studio Series leaks that we are available in June. So I'm assuming we're going to see some of these things in possibly Tuesday's stream. Like for 86, apparently we're supposed to get Blitzwing and Cyclonus again. So Cyclonus was previously part of the Kingdom line. So I guess they're just going to maybe fiddle with him a little bit and put him back out in 86. And then it's kind of weird. They're doing Blitzwing again, which I think if most of us remember, Blitzwing was kind of a shell former for the price. A lot of people, he was not a hot seller. So I would be curious. I'm going to be curious to see what tweaks and improvements they make for him to put him in 86 to see actually if he actually sells. I don't know if that's possible. For 86, and then I think Swoop is supposed to come back out. And we're going to get, Megatron is coming. And I think that's pretty much it. And then we switch over to, I guess, the Bayverse movies that we can expect. Now, once again, I am not a huge fan of the Bayverse movie toys, but I do know a lot of people out there are big fans of the 80s, the Bayverse movies, because that's what they grew up with, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just me personally, I'm not. I am actually in a group chat on Twitter that I was just added to, of a bunch of people going to TFCon Mississauga. And I think there's 20 people in that chat, and basically I think they're all movie fans. I'm the only person who's like, I don't really like the movie Bayverse stuff. But you know what? Each their own. Transformers. Yeah. It's Transformers June. Well, I mean, they keep on doing streams. It's kind of weird. I mean, maybe they're just trying to cash in on the stream hype with the GIJOE June. I'm not really sure, because I'm pretty sure Transformer month is in September or October, sometime later in the year. Anyways, but I mean, Transformer stuff is coming, and we do collect Transformer stuff on the channel, so I have to talk about it. But though, for the Bayverse stuff, we might see a Transformer 7 Scourge, maybe a TF4 Optimus Prime. Oh, actually, I missed one. It looks like we're supposed to get 86 Wheeljack. So, I mean, these are all rumors from JT Prime 17. He knows everything about what's coming out. So, I mean, this guy has been leaking stuff for like years, and it's like he's attached to the computer where all the stuff goes into it. TF4 Bumblebee, we're getting a Transformer 1 Soundwave, and a TF5 Hound. So, I mean, there's definitely a few Bayverse characters coming, or potentially shown off at this stream. I think it's going to be a pretty good stream. I think they've got a lot going on right now. They got the Age of the Primes stuff, which is good. We're finishing off Superion. Super excited for that guy, which reminds me, I totally got to get my Combiner Wars Superion ready for sale. I'm not a big true believer of having all these figures. I just kind of need the one good example of it, one figure. So I'm going to keep the Age of the Primes Superion, and pass on my Combiner Wars one to somebody else, another collector. So he'll probably make the trip to TFCon for me. That's been taking up all my time recently, and I know it's in the middle of GIJOE June, but leading into the end of June always is a big Transformer time for me, because I make the trip to Mississauga to go to the largest Transformer convention in Canada. It used to be, I think, one of the largest ones in North America, but TFCon has basically expanded to USA now. They have them on the East Coast and the West Coast and down south. So it's great that basically they're expanding, but I get super excited to go to TFCon Toronto every year. And, you'll hear me talk about it a lot. And I don't mean to talk people's ear off about it, but I really enjoy it. I'll probably do another, vlog type entry from there. It didn't go over well on the channel last year, but you know what? I want to document the fun time I have there. I've learned some lessons. It'll probably be a better cut than last year's or whatever. I'm working on sort of like not a super secret, like a little bit of an exclusive thing it's going to happen at TFCon for the channel, and hopefully that works out. If it works out, you'll know what it is when it goes live. But if it doesn't, maybe I'll tell you if it didn't work out. But we'll see how that works out. But TFCon is basically where that's where I get a majority of my Transformers for the year. And I mean, normally, I have to be honest, I'm actually a little worried. I do think that TFCon seems a bit slow happening around it this year. Normally, between, say, Facebook, between Twitter, between a couple forums I visit, I'll usually have a lot of pre-con deals worked out with other collectors, and I find that is a great way to get things at conventions. And as of right now, I only have one or two worked out. Lone Dragon. Yeah, dude. Political stuff. Whoa, dude. Whoa. You gotta stay away from that stuff. Anyways. Yeah. Long story short, I'm confident that I'm gonna still come home with a ton of loot from TFCon 2025, but I'm a little nervous going into it right now. But you know what? Don't worry, you got the dealer room is huge, so much stuff to look through, and as well the after hour parts parties in people's hotel rooms. That is where the action is. They always have this bulletin board up, and people put their room numbers and like what they have in their rooms, and you just go up to the rooms and you look through their stuff, and that is where the sweetest deals are for any convention. You should always look for that. Keep your ear to the ground to understand where that's going to happen at your convention. If you're staying at a hotel that has the convention at a hotel, that's where it happens. That's where the magic happens. Anyways, TFCon. Don't worry, I'm talking to your ear about the TFCon. Don't worry about it. Let's see what we're doing here. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to jump back and forth a few topics here tonight. This week as well. So, GIJOE Fest is happening somewhere in the middle of the United States. I don't know where it is offhand. I can't remember, but you know what? I know it's a big thing, and man, I would absolutely love to go to GIJOE Fest some year. I think it's quite the hike. It would cost me a lot of money to get there, but I mean, the shots that are coming from there, like so much stuff. I don't know. Has anyone ever been to GIJOE Fest? Yeah, sorry, reading this comment. Everyone ever been to GIJOE Fest? Like, what are the prices like? See, I would be worried that as a huge known commodity, that GIJOE Fest, I would be worried that the prices wouldn't be that good. And for me, I go to these conventions, I'm always looking for deals. I'm a frugal shopper, and so I'm looking for bargains, and so I'm just worried that GIJOE Fest might not be for me. I'm just wondering if the prices would just be like crazy, because everyone's like, I'm paying so much for a booth, I gotta charge you crazy prices. Is there deals to be had at GIJOE Fest? That is my question to the chat and comments below. So, have you been to GIJOE Fest? And have you got deals that you're like, it is worth your time to go to GIJOE Fest? I'm assuming the selection at GIJOE Fest would be amazing. Like, just so much stuff to like rummage through. I would assume it's like no better at GIJOE Fest. I'm just worried about the pricing. What would that be like? You know what? I bet you if I went to GIJOE Fest, I would be able to get my Cobra Liquidator parts I'm looking for. Oh man, that Cobra Liquidator. So I'm pretty sure I might have told this story before. So the Cobra Liquidator is a late the mid 90s G.I. Joe release. I believe it came out in either 92 or 94, and I can't remember offhand. Once again, I'm getting old. I don't remember those little tidbits, but it's sometime 92, 94. And I never had one as a kid, but for some reason, I think the first episode of the Mass Device series has the one where Major Blood attacks the airstrip with like Duke and Scarlet on it. That one, he attacks in a jet, and if you really look at it, it's just this black jet. It's not a real vehicle. It actually closely resembles the Cobra Liquidator, and the moment I made that connection, I've always wanted a Cobra Liquidator, because I'm like, I want to be able to reenact that scene basically and just have that part of my childhood in my hands. So the Cobra Liquidator's always, like, in recent years, been at the top of my most wanted list. So I have the shell, I have the stickers, the replacement stickers, and I have the missiles that go on the bottom of it. What I'm missing and the handle. What I'm missing currently is the landing gear, which is the same landing gear that the Storm Eagle shares, and as well as the canopy. Now, I know I just mentioned this about 5 minutes ago, but I'm just going over it again. So those things are number one on my priority list. Lone Dragon. I just want to go. I know. I mean, I would love, like I said, I would love to go to Joe Fest. It actually, I don't understand. Now, obviously, when it comes to GI Joes, between America, USA, and Canada, I would say it's safe to assume that USA is the bigger market. It's a real American hero. You know, that's what we grew up on. It's real American hero. It's not real American. I can't even say it. It's not a real Canadian hero. It's a real American hero, right? We all know that. So USA is the bigger market. So I understand that there's this huge GI Joe convention in the USA. Duly noted. I understand that. I don't really understand why in today's market there's not a smaller GI Joe convention in Canada as of right now. There was one, I think about like 8 or 10 years ago, and it fizzled out. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird because, I mean, I feel like the GI Joe community here in Canada is pretty good. And like, I'm on some Facebook forums. There's like 3,000 or 4,000 people on them. I'm buying and selling GI Joe stuff every week. And I feel like there's a good market, especially between Classified now and a real American hero. I feel that they would have a real good market if they had a GI Joe convention. Now, my only thing is, there's a bunch of conventions in Mississauga, Toronto, where the Transformer one is. One happens every couple months. So normally they have like an 80s one. They have like a Star Wars based one. So I would assume we kind of just roll that GI Joe stuff into an 80s based one. And actually, quick story for you. So once again, sorry to talk about TFCon. TFCon is 3 days. Really, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, they just have some, not like main stuff, but some side things on the go. But Saturday and Sunday is the main things. This modern TFCon is those Saturday and Sunday. And basically, it is 2 days of Transformer stuff. They have guests, like some of the voice actors from the cartoons, the different cartoon series, the Generation 1, Transformers Armada, the new stuff. Some of the comic book guys come. They have all kinds of guests come. And basically, they do 2 days of Transformer stuff. And that's cool. I'm not really sure. I'm not really good with time. Probably about 4, 5, 6 years ago, it used to be 1 day of Transformer stuff, which was a Saturday, and then Sunday it would turn into an 80s weekend. So what would happen, you would have vendors who just did Transformer stuff on Saturday, and some of those vendors would leave. They're like, okay, well, I'm done because I'm not here for Sunday. And other vendors would come in for the 80s stuff. And then the vendors that stayed, that were part of the Transformer convention, they would leave their Transformers out, but then they would put out more material like G.I. Joe and other stuff like that. Other 80s properties. And basically, that's what the convention was. 1 day Transformers, 1 day 80s. I kind of miss those days. And the reason why I miss those days is not that I don't love my Transformer stuff, is that basically, you go Saturday and you see some of the convention stuff, like the guests or whatever, and you look around the tables and you've basically, by the end of the day, like I'm there from 11 o'clock to 6 p.m. At this convention, and you've seen everyone's table, you've gone through everyone's underneath their table, and you've kind of maximized what you can gain from the convention. And then the next day, it's the same thing. So you're like, oh, I stayed for 2 days, but I mean, I don't necessarily, there's nothing new. I like the other way of doing it better, because you would go for the Transformer stuff, and the next day there'd be new stuff out to look at. And, new properties, new stuff. And it was a new convention. I kind of like that one better. I miss it. But I understand that it's gotten so big that they have to have the 2 days. So I get that. So, sorry, catching up on some chats here. Sorry. Who's this? Jay. Yeah, of course, yeah. You can get GI Joe vehicles with Canadian flags on them. They do have the Canadian flags. I don't have any here right in front of me. But yeah. So G.I. Joe vehicles, if they were sold in Canada during the day, back in the day, they came with Canadian flags and didn't have their American flags on it. But I know, but like, I was just saying, obviously it's not real Canadian hero. I can never get that. Anyways, but yes, they did have Canadian flags. And you know, it's funny because I mean, obviously here in Canada, it's easier to get the versions with the Canadian flags on it. And you know, it's cool when you actually, if I just pull, oh, and this is a good example. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. Actually, oh, okay, here, look. Here, so I don't know if you can get this on stream. Wait now, sorry. Let me just, okay. So, there is Canadian flag on this polar bear, and then there is an American flag on that one. Sorry, I can't get it to focus that great right now. So yeah, so these are your different options, right? So you get the it's white. It's too bright. Anyways, so yeah, different options. It's pretty cool. Sorry, I just had that there because there's just. Yeah, the reason why I'm kind of always angled this way is because my back room here is a mess and there's just stuff piled everywhere off screen that you can't see right now. So shush, don't tell anyone. It's a secret, okay? So, like there's G.I. Joe stuff, there's everything piled there. So I try to angle it towards the collector cases to kind of give me at least a bit nicer background. So it does cause a bit of a problem because I'm always kind of like sitting like not directly looking at the camera. But then I have the chat over here. So, and actually that reminds me, I was supposed to put this over here, move this over here. So I can get this going right here. Okay, so now I don't have to look as far. Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff back here, and I'm in the process of cleaning a bunch of it up or whatever. But it's still a mess. So that if you see me reach off screen, it's because there's just stuff everywhere. Just as what's the word? To set, yeah, so I've got my pegboard here, I've got my glass cases here. In front of me here, where the computer is, there's several shelves here with some stuff on it, which I often pick from and show you guys. And then over here is just the wild, wild west of collecting over here. Stuff everywhere. Like, hey, look, hey, who wants, this sideburn? You know what I mean? Like, hey, do you want to read some comics with me? You know what I mean? There's just stuff everywhere. Here's a bag of new Transformers that I just haven't put in on my display case yet. You know, there's just stuff everywhere. Yeah. I'll get to it. I know. I think everyone's like this, right? Everyone has a messy room like this. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Craig RC. I have a bunch of old Joes I need to get rid of. Is there somewhere good to list them? I mean, you can send me the list. Look, the thing is, a lot of people don't like Facebook, but Facebook works. I don't know what it is like in the United States. I use it a lot here in Canada, buy and sell stuff all the time. On Monday, some guy is going to sell me a complete tomahawk, Real American Hero tomahawk, that I have to go pick up. Great deal. It just popped up. When I say complete, it is actually missing the front windshield. And it's so funny, in my pile of parts there, I have the front windshield. So I said, I'll take that from you. And he actually has a Dragonfly that he's trying to complete. And so I have some parts for him here for the Dragonfly. So, Facebook works if you're trying to sell stuff. I mean, you got two options with Facebook, right? You can either list it on Marketplace in your local area. And the other thing is you can join groups, right? You join groups and there's a group for everything. Everything. Excuse me, I apologize. One thing I'm trying to see if I can grab some stuff. like I found some Starcom stuff, 80s Starcom stuff at the thrift store a few months back. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to pick this up. I got to rescue it. And I had some other stuff that I picked up, put it together. And there's like Starcom Canada, Mass Canada. There's all these different groups. If you just 5 seconds go on to Facebook and search for groups. I mean, if you have a Facebook account, what I'll do, yes, Canadian streamer. I'm Canada, Canadian, but I do understand that a lot of my market is in USA. So what I usually try to do is I try to flip back and forth. I don't want to alienate any Americans by talking too much Canadian stuff, but it's kind of like I'm Canadian, and so like this is what I do, but I do understand the market is a big in USA for both Transformers and G.I. Joe as well. So I kind of like talking Canadian and American prices to make everyone happy. So yes, thank you for your support. Here, Craig, email me. I'm just gonna put email. Just 1 second. 1 second. Sorry, guys. I know this is not good to stop the stream like this. Just 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Here. Email. Swish. Here, look. There's my email. It's just a SwishPOP@gmail.com. So send me an email with maybe like a list or some pictures of what you have. I'll help you out with it. I'm good with that. There's nothing better than helping other people out sort through their collection of stuff. Like, oh my gosh, like somebody gives you like a bin of this stuff. Sorry, it's really bright. This is like Centurion and Transformer parts, and like you're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, try to put that together and figure out where it goes. I love doing that stuff, and I think most collectors agree that is the fun stuff, right? Sorting through stuff, putting it all together. Oh my god, so good. G.I. Joe bins of stuff, give it all to me. I think I might have mentioned a couple of streams ago, one of my greatest garage sale finds was this guy had this huge tub. Like it was like a tub like this big, and it was probably like this full, and it was just leveled off with random parts. And he actually had a Rolling Thunder, and he had a stealth jet, the X-19, I think. And I was like, hey, how much for those, the big vehicles? And he's like, I don't know, $20. And look, you're not going to believe me, okay? The guy wanted $20 for a near complete Rolling Thunder and a near complete X-19. And I literally was like, I don't have any room for those. So I'm like, I'm not going to buy those. Thank you, though. Great deal. I should have probably bought the Rolling Thunder. I've never been a fan of the stealth jet. Craig, I just got into Centurions. I'm only a few months in. Let's see. Look, Centurions. So I have like Jake, Ace, and the water guy. I can never remember his name, but I'm into that stuff now. I've got too much G.I. Joe and Transformer stuff that I got to find stuff that I don't have to collect. Anyways. The guy had those Rolling Thunder and the X-19, and I'm kicking myself now. I should have bought the Rolling Thunder, but at the time I was like, I don't have space for it. I could have found space for it. I could have probably even resold it for more, but I didn't get it. Kicking myself now. But the bin, I was like, how much for the bin? I think I might have told this story a couple streams ago. And he's like, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to say like $100. And I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $100 on this bin. I don't really, you can't really search through it right there, right? Yes, Max Ray. Yes, thank you for the name. I can never remember that guy's name. Anyways, I was like, how much for the bin? And he's like, $20. I was like, $20. Here you go, sir. And like, it was so much stuff. Like, I mean, I think I sorted through it, and there was like so much stuff, and I even sold like, there was the mobile command center, like a bunch of missiles and pieces, and some guy locally needed like some of those. I sold those pieces for $25, so it covered the cost of the whole bin, and basically I was already a $5 profit. Long story short, I love bin pieces, and I love sorting through bins. I mean, everyone does, right? I mean, I would Transformers and GI Joe stuff. You know what's funny about this though is I would consider myself, if you gave me a GI Joe part, I would know a majority of them, except maybe the late 90s stuff or whatever. But like a majority of them, I'm like, this is so and so, this is so and so's. When it comes to Transformer parts, I think when I was a kid, I didn't play as much with the accessories of the Transformers compared to, like, say, the GI Joe accessories with the GI Joes. So I never got to fully have that wealth of knowledge for the Transformer accessories. So I often find myself, I have to look up the Transformer accessories when I find them. I mean, there's certain ones, like, if I open this bag, like I just recently got, like, got this stuff in, like, I traded, some guy gave me a, Scorponok chrome leg piece or whatever, so I have one of those. I need another one of those on my way to complete my Scorponok. And then, oh shoot, I just dropped it. I hope it didn't break it. Okay, it landed on something. Good. And then I just recently got, sorry, this is a Generation 1 Grimlock arm, and you'll see a video come up with that recently in the near future. I'll do a short about that. Because, guys, you know, like, so, you know, I'm a rookie guy here on YouTube, and, you know, slugging through, so, you know, it's a little slug to go through, but, I have this short, and I don't know if you've seen it. If you're into Transformers, it might have come up in your feed. There's this short where I pull an Ultra Magnus out of my, case here, and it was just a random. And I pulled him out, and I realized my Ultra Magnus that's in my case, he had the cab was the rubber wheels, I think, and the trailer was the plastic wheels, or the other way around. Either way, I didn't have a matching set of wheels on my Ultra Magnus in my case, and I made a video about it. And like, luckily, when I pulled him out, I actually had the missing part, in my junk pile. I'm like, wait, now I have I think a cab or something with the rubber wheels, whichever one I needed, I had it, and I put it together and I put it back in my case. And whatever reason, the YouTube algorithm kind of loves that video. And I think if you look at my YouTube shorts, which I don't really do a lot anymore of, because they don't really help newer YouTubers. You kind of got to have established stuff to get the most out of them. But my largest YouTube short is probably about like 10 or 20,000 views. That one for some reason has over 200,000 views. It just shows up in people's feeds all the time. And it's so funny because people kind of complain in the comments a little like, did you get it from the store like this? No, it's one that I've built over time, right through excess parts. And I guess I just didn't notice that I like mismatched the pieces when I put it in my case. So it's just a funny little video I made, but it's got over like, it might be 250,000 views now. And if I look at the stats on it, I think from that YouTube short alone, I've gained like 600 or 700 subscribers from, which is really weird. Anyway, sorry. Okay, sorry, Craig. Yeah, send me an email with whatever you have. I'm just curious what you have. We can talk. I can help you sort it, or I can help you sell it, or I'm very curious to see what you have. Do viewers in England know that you love going through bins? Yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah, me Grimlock as king. I love Grimlock. I'm so excited to get, like, so once again, I'm gonna preview something here. I'm gonna do another video similar to that Ultra Magnus video that I mentioned. Basically, I'm gonna pull Grimlock out of my case because it actually, like, people think these videos are fake or whatever. I mean, there's a certain level of production to them, but I was actually rearranging stuff in my case about a couple weeks ago, where I removed all my Transformer classics and generations from my case because I want to put more Generation 1 figures back in the case. So I removed those out, and I had to reshuffle some stuff, and I pulled out my Grimlock to I think dust it, like you just mentioned, Lone Dragon, to dust it. And I noticed, I mean, obviously I knew about it, but I had forgotten about it, that Grimlock was missing one of his arms. And I'm like, oh shoot, like he's missing one of his arms and he's in my case. And the thing is, I've had other Grimlocks in my possession that I put in the trade pile or traded away, and I forgot to get an arm off them. So I put it out recently, and I was able to find somebody that was able to trade me a piece. Grimlock, it came in the mail with the Centurion parts and that Scorponaut leg part. And basically, now I got Grimlock. And so basically, I'm going to take Grimlock out and go like, oh, he's missing an arm. Here's the piece. Put it back on. Film it all. Put him back in the thing. And put it up as a YouTube short and see what it gets. And I bet you the algorithm will be like, we're not showing that to anybody. We're going to only give that to like 100 views. Because this week's video, which I already discussed earlier on this stream, like, I don't know what YouTube's doing, but it started out, I always publish my videos. For the most part, the weekly video of the week for the YouTube channel comes out at Friday morning at about 8:15 a.m., 8 o'clock a.m., okay? So if you're looking for new videos, that's when they usually post. Sometimes if they're delayed, they'll go Saturday, but a majority of the time I post Friday morning, and that's so you can get all the Friday with the video, and it's hitting it. And for whatever reason, and I'm no sorry, this isn't G.I. Joe or Transformers, this is just adjacent stuff. I did a video on the G.I. Joe stream, and how I kind of didn't like it, and which we discussed about earlier. And it got like 300, 400 views. I'm like, okay, cool. It'll really pick up on Saturday. Saturday comes, it's at 400 or so. Saturday ends, it was at like 435. And I'm like, oh wow, that's different. Sunday comes, it's still like 450. And then Sunday, I mean, we're still basically on Sunday here, but I think it ended at like 480. I don't even know if it made it to 500 views. And I'm like, that's really weird, because normally when I release a video, it'll get like a couple thousand views. So, I mean, yeah, so let's see what it's at. If I scroll down, it's at 510 views. I'm not really sure why the Google algorithm didn't like it, but it did not like it this week. So, anyways, whatever. Where is my stuff here? Okay, sorry, 1 second. Oh, okay. Anyways, whatever. We're not talking about that anymore. Oh, you know what? Lone Dragon, to dust your stuff. Here's a hot tip, guys. I do like to give hot tips out to my fellow collectors. Just, sorry, let me dig here for 1 second. 1 second. Sorry, Scrapper, we got to move you here for a second. No, I don't see. Oh, okay. Here's a hot tip. And I mean, some people might already know this. If you have to dust your collection, get a paintbrush, okay? You get a paintbrush because like you can get like a set of these at the dollar store for like, I don't know, a couple bucks or whatever. And then you don't have to move your stuff. Scrapper's not dusty, but you're almost like painting the dust away. And it really works. It's really nice when you have stuff in place and you know you can get in there. You can dust the dust away, and it's not perfect, but it definitely helps. It'll definitely get some of that dust away. So recommend get a few paintbrushes, have them around, and you'll be able to get in the the little crevices and like dust stuff or whatever. This thing, oh my god, the tail here gets so dusty. This is in the trade bin, and I haven't cleaned up my front of my desk here in a few months. So it's really messy. So I'm sorry, guys. Now, quick recap. I got a couple other things. Now, I talked about this last week. I'm gonna do a giveaway. I'm probably gonna wait until the GIJOE June stream this week or whatever, which we assume they're talking about HasLab. And I'll make sure to put this up on the community thing. It'll be like, comment on the video or whatever, and you get an entry to win #1 GIJOE special missions. Nothing spectacular, but something to give away, to give back to the channel. Oh yeah, soft bristle brush. I mean, yeah, something soft to get in there. You know, it's hard to clean this stuff or whatever. So whatever tips and tricks people learn, that's what you gotta go with, right? So guys, I'm dying here. Wet the old whistle. You know, so I mentioned some of the stuff I got this week. I got those parts or whatever. I got a bunch of GI Joe stuff in. You know what I got? I got this guy. And let's see if Cobra Commander version 3. I never had this guy as a kid, and I just figured I might as well add him to the collection because I mean, like most of us out there for GI Joe stuff, I've been collecting since like I was a kid. I never ever got rid of my figures. But the thing that I love about GI Joe so much is that even like, you know, I don't know what, 30 years in for myself, 40 years, or whatever you want to call it, there's still figures out there that I don't have. So recently I got, oops, sorry, Jetfire. Recently I got this guy. He came in the mail, Cobra Commander. And then I got this guy as well, which is, I believe, Spearhead. I never had this guy. And this guy was such a good deal. One of the, in local here, we have a G.I. Joe Facebook group. Actually, that's a lie. We do have a local G.I. Joe Facebook group, but we have a national G.I. Joe Facebook group. And one of the guys had a claim sale. And basically, he put this guy up. He was $5. And it was the starting bid of $5. And no, I was like, I don't have him. I'll put $5 down on that. So I put it down. And long story short, in the end, I won him. And I was thinking it was only the figure. But it actually came with his helmet, his backpack, and his weapon. And the only thing is missing is his dog, Max. I'll get him later on. So this guy, new G.I. Joe, new Cobra this week to the collection. So, I mean, that's pretty sweet. So that's pretty cool. You always got to be adding. Okay. So we still haven't gotten to some topics of today's stuff. Okay. Let's talk about some stuff here now. So we talked about the G.I. Joe stream. We talked about the Transformers stream coming this week. Super 7. So Super 7 did some stuff this week. And I guess it was part of maybe Joe Fest. They did something really weird. Actually, I found one comment I'm going to make quickly. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, and I know Twitter can be sort of like, what's the word? A cesspool. Okay? But sometimes it's bad or whatever. Is version 4? Okay, thanks. Sorry, I was thinking it was version 3, but yeah, you're right, version 4. Sometimes Twitter can be a bit of a bad place, but anyways, I still use Twitter because I like it. I like easily being able to chat to people. I'm a chatter. Follow us on Twitter if you want. But long story short, Super 7, like they teased out, they're like, hey, we got some new stuff coming for Super 7. And they had a promotional picture of some guys. And then a couple hours later, they're like, here's some more shots further along in production. A couple hours later, here's the actual real image at the convention. It was like, they're like drip feeding this stuff or whatever all in the one day. It was kind of weird. Anyways, long story short, they got some new product coming. I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the Super 7 stuff. And it's just because there's something about it. I do think it has potential in what they're doing, but I'm just not a big fan of it. So it's just something off about it. It's just like, I don't know, but so full disclosure, I actually don't have any Super 7 product or whatever. But it's just the quality of it seems to be off a little bit. Not off a little bit. It's just different. It's not the same as a Real American Hero when we're talking the O-Ring Plus stuff. That's what I'm referring to. It has potential. The thing I think a lot of people out there like is that how they're doing figures that don't exist or whatever, and adding new life into the O-Ring world. And I think that's cool. So this week they announced that Jinx, Falcon, and the Cobra Law Guard are coming, and then they're gonna have once like basically the Snake Cobra Commander and a new Serpentor, as believe as well, a new color for San Diego Comic-Con. So I mean, I think they're pretty cool. I think they have potential. Like I said, they're just not for me because I find they're expensive for what you get. Like it's basically an O-ring figure, and I understand it's meant for a collector market, but like I think they're 20, like probably $18, $19 American, $25 Canadian. It's just not something I want to spend my hard-earned money on right now. But like Jinx looks pretty cool, and like the thing is, they look like they've jumped out of the cartoon, right? The Cobra Royal Guard, the Cobra Law Royal Guard, he's pretty cool. Like if you had a bunch of those now, I mean, who can afford a bunch of them? Because I mean, it would cost you like $100 to get like 4 of them. I think they're a little expensive, but I mean, I can see where there's a market for them. Like the waves they've been putting out have been pretty good. They seem to be kind of fixated on the movie, 86 movie. I wish they did some more guys, you know, from different series in that line. We'll see how it goes. It's going to continue, I'd assume. I think it's popular with collectors. Have any of you guys bought any of the Super 7 O-Ring Plus figures yet? Let me know in the comments if you like them, if you plan to continue to buy them. Me, like I said, not necessarily for me, but I understand there's a market and a place. And I mean, I think they'll probably continue to make them as long as they are profitable. I know Super 7, I think, had to lay off some people recently, so hopefully they continue. I do think they are a good company to have around. They also announced more of their Super 7 figures, which are like 6-inch classified figures with a lot of accessories. I think they announced a Destro, Python Patrol Destro, and somebody Tiger Force, and I can't remember. I'm not into those guys at all. Those guys are expensive. I think if I remember correctly, they're like $75 or $100 or something like that. The Super 7 figures, the bigger ones, and that's way too much money. The only one, if I had to choose one, and I'll tell you why, the only one I would get right now would be, I guess an older release would be the Crimson Guard. Crimson Guard are one of my favorite figures. If I reach up here and get my classified Crimson Guard, they are one of my favorite figures. I do really enjoy them. Like I only have 2 Real American Hero ones. I have 2 classified ones as well. The Super 7, like the 6-inch one they do, looks really cool, and it looks like it just jumped off the screen of a cartoon. And if you notice, that's something I really enjoy. If it looks like, because I mean, as adult collectors, we watch these cartoons, right? As kids, Transformers and GI Joe, and basically, when you were playing with these things as kids, you imagined that's what they were, the cartoon come to life, right? So I personally think when they do these type of things, they put the level of detail in that they look very cartoonish. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, the Crimson Guard would be the only one I would ever get, but I'm never going to get it unless I find it somewhere at a convention or somebody trades me for it. I don't think I'll ever get it. Anyways, but it's nice that Super 7 keeps on adding stuff here. Joe Fest, we talked about Joe Fest. The other thing, so I mean, Classified is continuing. I'm excited for what they're doing with Classified, and I really hope that they do give us some details on that HasLab. And you know, once again, I think the easy money is a bet that is on a Snowcat for the Classified project for this year. I mean, I think they'd have to throw us really for like a loop if it wasn't the Snowcat based on the teases that we've gotten. But I feel like we'll know by Wednesday. We will know by Wednesday if they're going to do a stream and what it is. And I mean, guys, do you think it's going to be the Snowcat with their winter figures? I think it's a good option. I think they could rock that. I think a good selection of stretch goals. The last ones have been kind of weak, like that Rattler patches. Oh my gosh, guys. The people bought the Rattler paid so much money for it, and they're getting those Rattler patches. Oh my gosh, I can't get over that. Wow. That was a big miss. They should have did some more stretch goals for that thing. But hopefully we get that details on the HasLab. Hopefully, let's get some name-only reveals in there. I was really surprised they didn't do any other name-only reveals during the different weeks of the streams, or even on Twitter or anything. I think we're gonna get some name-only stuff. I want a Night Viper. The number one classified figure on my list right now that I would like to see revealed is a Night Viper. Would they go the deluxe route on a Night Viper? What do you think? I don't know if they would do that. I mean, historically, he just comes with like his one weapon and his night goggles. I don't think there's any reason to. Just one second. I don't think there's any reason to do a deluxe, but I do think the Night Viper is a fairly sought after figure. So do they do something weird where they try to increase his value so he sells more? I wouldn't put it past Hasbro, and sorry, I don't mean to sound mean to Hasbro, but they kind of do things like this where they inflate values on things so they can make more money. So we'll see how that goes. I really hope we get more. We need to see what's more coming down the pipe. I think they'll give it to us, but the thing is, it's kind of weird. If we don't get it here in GIJOE June, which hopefully that's why we do these things in June, it's GIJOE June, so hopefully we get to see more. If we don't see things, I would assume stuff will leak out for San Diego Comic-Con. Like we've seen first reveals of stuff being done at San Diego Comic-Con. So hopefully we get some more details on more G.I. Joe stuff soon. And you know, if they do a live stream on the HasLab or whatever they do this week, I will do a video on it with my opinions of this stuff, because I like to give my opinions about G.I. Joe stuff and Transformer stuff to you guys, and you know, hopefully a couple thousand of you guys like to listen, so I really appreciate it. Yeah, so I'll get a video up. The thing is, with those videos, the stream, let's assume, happens on Wednesday. Sometimes do I do a video that goes up Thursday, or do I wait until Friday when our normal video goes up? I'll have to wait and see. I'll try to put a video through for the Transformers Studio Series live stream as well for Tuesday. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So another busy week. Once we're done with the streams here, say like the GIJOE June and Yo Transformers June or whatever as well, I'll get back to making like more like the regular type videos, just not commentary on the streams for the channel. And hopefully that'll keep you guys engaged. Like I did want to do a preview on the Studio Series figures that are coming out, but I won't get to that now because we're going to do the stream anyways, and that'll cover a majority of that. I do enjoy it when we talk about the leaks. I do enjoy talking about leaks here on the channel. Yeah, see, like, yeah, so you, Lone Dragon, you have the Rattler coming. Yeah, those patches are so silly. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, somebody, like, phoned that one in when they came up with that stretch goal. That was a joke, that was. I mean, those patches, it should have been accessories for the plane or something, or a ladder or something for the landing, the landing gear, the team or whatever. The patches. Please, Hasbro, if you're watching, which I know you're not, don't do any patches anymore, okay? Nobody wants to see those. If you have those, sell those on your Hasbro Pulse website separately or in adjacent to a HasLab release. Nobody wants those as stretch goals. Okay, got that off my thing. Yeah. It's funny you say that, Lone Dragon, that you wanted to recoup your money. I had the same idea. So I have the Dragonfly. It's up there in a box. And I was like, you know what? I'm not really interested in Glenda and, not Sneak Peek, Crazy Legs. and I was going to sell them when I got them, when they're like a hot commodity, and I didn't even take them out of the box yet, so I haven't sold them. So I don't even know how much they're even worth yet. How much do you think a Glenda or a Crazy Legs is worth on the secondary market from the Dragonfly? Let me know. You wanted Ecto 1 patches? No way. No way. Anyways, so we're going to do the giveaway as part of this week's coming video. So we'll talk about that in the video, and we'll get an ad up for that. So it'll be something like comment on the video, leave a like or something like that to drive some engagement to the channel to help us grow. So we're working on that, and I'll get that up. And yeah, I think we actually might call it a stream here now, guys. I know I do these for such a weird time. Like, it's a late night stream. It is 1 o'clock here where I am right now, 1 a.m. It says we've been streaming for about an hour 16. You know, most people would probably go for an hour 30, or most people would stop at an hour or whatever. But long story short, I think we're going to stop here. So what I do recommend, if you can, follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. And if you're not already a follower here on YouTube, please think about hitting subscribe. Leave a like on this if you could as well. Just trying to grow the channel a bit, and it's been going fairly well. So I'm really impressed with it. I actually really enjoy making YouTube videos for all you guys out there on the Transformers, on G.I. Joe. If you have any topics that you'd like to see covered here on the channel, leave them in the comments below, and you know what? I'll reply. That's the thing. I reply to every single comment that's left on the channel, except for there's some crazy comments sometimes. I'll leave those alone. But anything related to collecting or the topic, I usually try to reply to it, give you a heart, give you a thumbs up. So because I really want to thank you guys for the engagement and, you know, taking the time out of your day to watch my videos and as well comment on them. So I really appreciate that. Done. Thanks. Well, thank you, Plastic Pete. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, so the channel's growing, we're doing good, we're doing Transformers, and I apologize, I do talk about TFCon a lot because I'm excited for it. I know some people might come for Transformer stuff, some people come from G.I. Joe stuff, and we kind of meet in the middle. I try to make sure we talk about both here on the live streams to keep people interested, and I'm trying to think if I have anything else I can grab to show you guys. You know what? One thing that I don't talk about anymore is Star Wars. I do love Star Wars as well, but you know what? Star Wars, basically for the vehicles, I have a couple Y-Wings sitting around, and once again, they don't have a home as of yet. Once again, if I bend down here, I've got, you know, this, the tank here from Rogue One. That's pretty sweet. It's kind of weird. But it's not in a home right now. It's just sitting here on my printer. I have stuff, you don't understand. There's stuff everywhere. It will find a home someday. But as of right now, this is the way I roll. This is the way I roll. I don't know, quickly, what in YouTube land, what are you currently hunting for? Let me know in the comments what you're hunting for. Because for G.I. Joe and Transformers, I'm pretty good right now. There's nothing really that I'm hunting for, but obviously on the look at. But if I take over here, this is my Hot Wheels Optimus Prime. He's pretty cool. But you know what I'm hunting for right now is an Ultra Magnus version of this. I can't find Ultra Magnus. So here in Canada, here's another fun fact. This was actually not sold in Canada at retail. I had to get it from a specific retailer, like an e-retailer in Canada, that he ordered them in. This was not in retail. And the Ultra Magnus is a similar way. But for Ultra Magnus, there's one store, and of all stores it is, there's a grocery store here in Ontario where I live, and they have them. But guess what? Every time I go, the only track fleet that is sold is Ultra Magnus. So I've yet to find Ultra Magnus. I'm on the hunt for them. I really want to add them to my growing Transformers Hot Wheel collection. Of course, I got my Bumblebees here, my gold and my yellow Bumblebee. I got to find a better way to display these guys because they're coming up. My sweet Transformers animated figures here. But that's what I'm hunting for. What do you guys hunt? I'm looking for Elson. Oh man, Gargoyles. Oh. Okay. I know it's not G.I. Joe Transformers. Gargoyles was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I love that show. It has such lore. Oh my gosh, such lore. I love that show. And you know what? I was so excited when Disney Plus came out and it was on there. And I wanted to show my kids. And I was like, this is the best show ever, guys. And I showed my two kids. And they were like, yeah, it's okay. They didn't really connect with it like I did. I loved Gargoyles. I'd watch that show again. Oh man, that show was so good. I think Disney should do a live action Gargoyles movie. I think that would be pretty good. I mean, sometimes their live action stuff isn't that great, but I mean, they're doing all these live action remakes anyways. So take the first pilot episode, you know, with the 2 or 3 parts where like they get like frozen in like the ancient Scottish times and move to the modern day and kind of speed up that story. That would make an epic movie from Disney. A live action Gargoyles remake. Oh my gosh. Count me in. I don't know about anyone else, but Gargoyles, I would be tempted to collect those guys, but we don't, I mean, where do you get those normally? Do you get them at Target or do you get them, like, is there a certain store you pick them up at? Because I mean, I guess collector stores in Canada here would have them, like some like comic book stores or whatever. But do you get them at like retail in the USA? I'd be curious to know. I think I've seen them before, maybe at Target when I visit there. But I don't know. I can't get in anymore. Guys, my wife, she wouldn't be happy if I collect any more. Because right now, like obviously I'm doing G.I. Joe and Transformers. That's what the channel's all about. Side hustles, I'm doing Centurions and Mask. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, it's only because I have so much G.I. Joe, I have so much Transformers, it's hard to sometimes find new stuff to pick up. So I added Mask, which I love, and Centurions. I never had any Centurions as a kid. And I just got it back into it. I liked the cartoon, but I wanted some of the toys as an adult collector. Oh yes, but I guess yeah. Okay, so Lone Dragon, Target, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy. Okay, so all the regular guys have them. But yeah, Plastic Pete. Yeah, I mean those Beast War figures, they have like the ball, first kind of use to a lot of times of the ball joints, so stuff kind of falls off sometimes. So yeah, the Beast Wars Rat Trap. Yeah, he's it's funny you say that because I think in my bin of stuff, I have a Rat Trap leg. I don't know which one you're looking for, but I think I might have one. I mean, my email address is above if you want to email me about it, or send me a message on Twitter or something like that about it. I can probably send you a picture to see if it matches with yours. Anyways, something to think about. So, let's see. Sorry, I gotta take one more drink, guys. My throat, like, for basically talking for an hour, my throat gets sore after a while. So, oh, so the line's over, so they're hard to get. Okay, I see what you're saying. So you basically have to kind of get them like aftermarket now because you have to try to find them. Okay, yeah, I understand that. I get that. That's it. there was nothing else I wanted to cover. So I didn't have many notes to cover this week. Yeah. Okay, guys, if I don't know if anyone was here last week, but like I messed up big time. I had made this like fancy intro to show like some video and show the stream was gonna start. I had to go back to the drawing board and retool that because I completely messed up the first 20 minutes of the audio stream. And it was crazy. It was crazy. Like I was rambling for 20 minutes and finally somebody in the chat, or I think somebody in the chat mentioned earlier, but was not paying attention to the chat. And I had to basically, I was so embarrassed. I had to scrub that from the internet. Once the stream finished, I basically, oh, you know what's funny? I basically had to delete that. I think earlier I made an option here. I might have turned on an option to not record this stream and add it to the channel. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so annoyed if I did that. I can't remember now if I did that. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, Lone Dragon. I know it's hard, right? You're like, that's the only one you need. Long story short, my only recommendation to that is, if you're good, you got to play the long game. Collecting is all about patience, and if you're a patient collector, you will be rewarded at some point, and you'll be able to get that guy. Keep me up to date. Let me know if you do find him. What does this button do right here? Oh, weird. Okay. Sorry, guys. Engage with your audience. Start a Q&A. Start a poll. Sorry, I'm just playing with the thing here for a second. Start a poll. 1 second. There's rumors. Guys, I'm just playing with something here for a second. I just put a poll up because I've never used this before, because this is only my like 4th live stream ever. I just put a poll up and I just wanted to see how it works. So, I mean, you just answer it and let me know, yeah, what you're here for. Both is winning 100% because I think like one person clicked it. So I just wanted to play with it there for a second. I don't get much time because we're kind of at the end of this stream or whatever. I don't get much time to play with this a lot. Insert and daily. Okay, there's options there. Share. Great. Okay. So, okay. Awesome. Live chat. 2 votes. 100% people are here for both. Woo! Yes. That's awesome. Okay. Sorry, that's the first one I did. I'm going to use that more. Let's see. Yeah, there's nobody talking about Ninja Turtles. Hey, 1 a.m. in New York City. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, Lone Dragon. Hey, you be good. That's hilarious. Anyways, okay. So I think what we'll do here, I think we're going to call it here. I tried to call it earlier. I'm really glad you guys came out. It is 1:10 a.m. I think we're going to call it here. I really enjoyed doing this. I'll be back next week, 11:30. I was delayed today because I had a technical difficulty with my camera. But I'll be back next week, 11:30, same time. We'll talk about Transformers, G.I. Joe, and anything else you want to talk about. So make sure you're active in the chat. I'm trying to read the chat and do this at the same time. I'm learning how to do this. Hopefully, I'm getting a little better. Probably next week I'll have stuff to put up there. The show we can talk about a bit easier, and maybe I'll bring that video showing off that the stream is going to start soon, and maybe I'll just turn off the audio in that. Big brain here. All right. Anyways, so okay, I'm gonna close it down here, guys. Thank you so much for coming out, and we'll see you back next week. Make sure you come back to the channel to watch this week's video too. I really appreciate all your viewing time. Anyways, thanks for coming. We'll see you next week. Oops.